Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to the show. Hope all of you guys had a great evening. We are back on the Brandon Mason Show. I appreciate all of you for joining us. It is March 14th. And yes, you know, it is closer to the end of the week. I got my phone here. I got a couple live updates that I want to bring to your attention. It's Thursday. We got breaking news. We're talking about Cam Newton. And obviously, we love Cam Newton because he's always back in the media. He gives us a lot to talk about. But Cam Newton can't believe Kirk Cousins' contract. And let me tell you something. I have a clip here of Cam Newton, talking a little shit. Not crazy, but I kind of have to say I agree with what some of he's talking about. Kirk Cousins, $180 million deal with the Falcons. And this is what Cam Newton has to say about it. You got it right here, Cliff.
$50 million signing bonus.
It is extremely alarming that he only had one playoff win in 12 years. He's coming off of an injury. Why didn't they get Justin Fields? I can't make it about me. But if I were to make it about me, it's like, I'm in Atlanta. But damn, who is your agent?
And watch again.
Includes $50 million signing bonus.
It is extremely alarming that he only had one playoff win in 12 years. He's coming off of an injury. Why didn't they get Justin Fields? I can't make it about me. But if I were to make it about me, it's like, I'm in Atlanta. But damn, who is your agent?
Look, I can't really disagree with Cam Newton. I mean, look, I got to tell you, he's back in the media. It's never like, hey, positivity to Kirk Cousins. Awesome, you know, and he kind of threw it in a little bit like, who's his agent? Like, good for him. So he kind of gave a little, love to the agent and hey, whatever. But the truth of the matter is this. Kirk Cousins really hasn't won a playoff game in 12 years. $180 million is kind of like, you start thinking about it, you're like, yeah, Kirk Cousins is good. He is a beast. Now the Falcons bring him in. Minnesota, he played good for Minnesota. I want to say great, but great would be winning playoff games. Superb would be winning a Super Bowl. And truthfully, that didn't happen. So even though I want to say, look, Cam Newton's back in media, slashing Kirk Cousins, talking shit, talking smack, the truth is he really only won one playoff game in 12 years. So $180 million to the Falcons really says, was this a good idea for the Atlanta Falcons? And they're like, I could have brought in Justin Fields. But I think what they really thought is, look, I'm bringing Kirk Cousins, build around him, get the right people. He can operate an offense, right? He's more of a captain. He's more of a leader. Justin Fields is a younger guy coming in. Not sure we're going to get ultimately. But I kind of agree with Cam Newton saying, look, bringing Kirk Cousins is great. That's an awesome idea. That's a great quarterback. That's awesome. But $180 million? I don't know. I'm just saying, if you guys are watching this right now, good morning to you. Good morning in the chat. Good morning to everybody that's talking live. Let me see in here. I'll pull some names up here like I like to do. Good morning, Tracy. Brenda. Obviously, Brittany. Howard. Good morning. Skirbo. Good morning to you. Peter. Good morning to you. Devon. Good morning to you. Anybody that's coming in, I appreciate all of you that rock with me in the morning as we get started and continue on our journey with our networks. I got a lot to talk about today. We also have some live passes, media passes for the Bare Knuckle. They reached out to us and gave us Bare Knuckle media passes to every single event. So if we're at the fights, we're on the canvas, we're live. We got the camera crew, Howard. He's in production in the back. He's going to be there with the cameras. We got the computers. We got everything we need. And security also will be there live right next to the canvas, making sure we get all the clips, interviews of all the fighters in the locker room. So that just happened. And we look forward to dealing with the UFC and obviously into the NFL and NBA and yada, yada, yada. But hey, to end the conclusion of this conversation, just on this point, Cam Newton said some things maybe that some people don't want to say, but part of it was kind of true. $180 million, Atlanta Falcons, that hasn't won a playoff game in 12 years. I'm not sure that it justifies that amount of money. Moving on right now, Brock Purdy. Okay, talking about money, Brock Purdy is patiently waiting for a big payday, right? Like we saw Brock Purdy did, and I cannot wait for the NFL to come back. Like I'm sitting there going, put a game on. Like, look, I like the CFL. It just doesn't do it for me, right? Like, I love watching the NFL. Brock Purdy, he's waiting for a big payday. And the guy just got married, right, to his sweetheart there. That's great. But what I want to talk about, right, is Brock Purdy in his second year in a Super Bowl, right? It's like first year, close. Second year, there. Got beat by an awesome quarterback, the GOAT, the Chiefs. They have great players, right? You got Patrick Mahomes, you got Travis Kelce, you got Andy Reid, you got Pacheco. They had a great offensive lineup, just missed a little receiver here and there. But at the end of the day, Brock Purdy and his pay and his contract, I'm going to pull it up. But first off, Sam Darnold, the backup to Brock Purdy, okay? I'm going to let this sink in. Understand what I'm saying right now. The backup to Brock Purdy just signed a $10 million contract with the Vikings, right? So Kirk Cousins leaves, goes to the Falcons, $180 million. The backup, okay, you're looking at right now, Sam Darnold, the backup goes to the Vikings and signs a $10 million deal, right? And then look at Brock Purdy. I got his contract right here, and you know my eyes are not as good as yours, so I have the analysis report here. If you look at it where it's highlighted in the purple above, if your eyes are better than mine, great for you. If they're not, get your bifocals on, pull the computer up. You got to hear this. So Brock Purdy, obviously in the Super Bowl, gets Patrick Mahomes. Here's the full year-by-year breakout of Brock Purdy's contract according to Over the Cap, right? The ones that are highlighted in purple have completed already. 2022, $705,000. He came in Mr. Irrelevant. He wasn't supposed to be the starter, right? Jimmy G gets hurt. Trey Lance gets hurt. Brock Purdy's in the game. So obviously wasn't deserved that kind of money yet. Then 2023, $870,000. Okay, this past year, Brock Purdy made $870,000 in the Super Bowl, right? Then 2024, he's owed $985,000. So this upcoming year, Brock Purdy's making $985,000. And then in 2025, he only makes 1.1. He's got to play 2 more years to make $1 million a year, literally. 2024, under $1 million. 2025, only 1.1. And in 2026, unrestricted free agent, which we know, right? We know that he'll be able to get that big deal. We know he's going to get paid if he doesn't get hurt. But again, Sam Darnold, backup quarterback, just got $10 million, right? His backup, Kirk Cousins is on, Trey Lance is on, Jimmy G's getting paid. These are guys he's starting in front of, guys that he's better than, right? So if that's the case, and you pull his contract, we go, let's read the bottom part. When can Brock Purdy get an extension, right? Got it right here. Purdy, who was in his year 2, this was written obviously in this past season, who was in year 2 of his 4-year rookie contract, is not eligible to receive a contract extension until after 2024. Now, that is part of the NFL CBA that states rookies aren't eligible to renegotiate their contract until after a certain period of time, right? So Brock Purdy waiting on this massive payday, and he's sitting there going, whoa, everyone's getting paid. My backup's getting paid. I got other quarterbacks getting paid. People getting massive contracts. Guys aren't even winning playoff games, getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars. Brock Purdy obviously can't do anything about it at the moment. $900 and some thousand is crazy from last year and into this year. Good for the 49ers. They got a good quarterback for cheap. But I'm just saying, Brock Purdy got married, right? Got his wife there now. Backup, Sam Darnold getting paid, and then bang, contract. He's got to fight it and get through it. Hopefully he stays healthy, because right now he's owed a lot of money. Let's move on right now to another conversation. Is Aaron Rodgers being taken seriously? And I want to ask you guys this question because, look, Aaron Rodgers is a good quarterback. We know that. Great with the Packers. Great with the Packers. Love watching him. Wasn't winning Super Bowls left and right. Wasn't a Tom Brady. I mean, you see Brock Purdy's in a Super Bowl already. Just talk about that. It wasn't that Aaron Rodgers was in all the Super Bowls. It was just he had that morale, right? He sold tickets. He was a good quarterback. He made some great plays. Learned a little bit behind Brett Favre. Came in and played great. But this is the thing. When I see this picture, and I just got to laugh, I just can't take him seriously anymore. Like, the helmet doesn't fit right. There's a lot of space on the side. I like Aaron Rodgers. I love Aaron Rodgers. Don't take this wrong. Don't get it wrong. I'm a fan of Aaron Rodgers. Love watching him play. I hope he balls out for the Jets this season. I hope he continues to play. It's always great watching him play. So don't let this conversation mislead any of what I'm saying. It's just taking him seriously is hard. Pull it up for me, Howard. Check this picture out. I mean, look at this. When I see this man on the field, I just cannot take that seriously. I mean, first off, yeah, he's a little older in the NFL. We get that. But look how he looks out there. Like, guys are typically out there, speed, agility, making things happen. This is what Aaron Rodgers looks like on the field. And people are concerned because not only do they have this going on, right? Check this out. Pull it up for us, Howard. RFK Jr. is considering, and RFK, just so you guys know, Robert Kennedy Jr. is considering New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers as his running mate. So, okay, this is another thing. It's like a Hail Mary. They called it pass Aaron Rodgers to get him to show up and be part of his running mate to run for elections in office and presidential elections and all kind of things. But here's what I'm saying. Anybody that's taking Aaron Rodgers seriously, like he's an NFL quarterback, he's going to be balling. We got to watch Aaron Rodgers. Like he's going to be out there playing on Sundays. He's going to play, on Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, all these things. If you believe that, Aaron Rodgers isn't running for any kind of elections with you. An office isn't running mate. Like, be real. Like, he's not even going to be around. So the point is, Aaron Rodgers is in all the media attention. He's on a Pat McAfee show, right? Hopefully get him on this show. It'd be great. He took Pat McAfee from worth $5 million to worth $500 million. So if I can get Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays on this platform, shit, we'd be skyrocketing views and people getting on here. So I'm loving what he's doing in other parts of Fast and stuff. But is anybody taking him seriously in the NFL, right? Like, he's with the GMs, the owners. He's in the box seats. He has on his gear. You don't see him ever wearing a helmet typically because he wasn't really on the field. So it's like, this has got to be, a last hurrah, the Hail Mary, of his last season career as he ends with the New York Jets. And they still don't have a quarterback that they want in there behind him. Like Zach Wilson, they're still trying to trade him. They don't know where he's going to go. So it's like, who are they going to bring in? They're running out of time. They got to find somebody unless they're going to get a draft pick. All those big-time players, big-time backups are going places. The Jets still need somebody who's a backup, but could possibly be running the show this season. Ryan Tannehill was one of those guys. With the Titans, we talk about that, but we'll see what happens as they move forward. But let's move on to Mason Rudolph. And let me tell you something. We got a lot to talk about today. We're going to get into some controversial topics here in a minute, so bear with me. But as we get a little bit more in the show, we do have some controversial topics, and some people might disagree, or maybe you do agree, but we'll go down that road. But Mason Rudolph, right, goes to the Titans as the backup. And I'm just saying, Mason Rudolph did pretty good for the Steelers when he got a chance to get in the game this past season. And I think, obviously, against the Bills, faced the better team. Didn't work out, but he played good. They battled back, played strong. But now that Mason Rudolph is going to the Titans, he'll be a backup. And then this could put him in a potential position to just be a long-term backup. Like if he would have balled out this season with the Steelers and they got further in the playoffs, they might have been talking to him like, hey, you and Kenny Pickett battling back for this upcoming season. But instead of doing that, they bring in Russell Wilson, which we talked about for a long time. They bring in Russell Wilson from the Broncos. So it's like, we got Russell Wilson, we got Kenny Pickett. Okay, now Mason Rudolph, it's time to go. So he gets traded, or it goes into whatever situation there, and he gets to the Titans. And now they're like, okay, well, he's the backup, and he will remain a backup now in the National Football League probably for years to come. Okay, Joe Flacco signs a 1-year deal with the Colts. Now, to slow things down for a second before we get into a little controversial topic, which I'm going to get to, so bear with me for a minute. If you're on right now, give me like 2 minutes. We're going to get to a controversial topic, which I want your input in the live chat about this. So stay put for 1 second. Joe Flacco signs a 1-year deal, right? So Joe now is with the Colts, right? He was with the Ravens, leaves. They obviously went to the Jets for a little bit. Then he went to the Browns, balled out last year. Obviously didn't win a Super Bowl, but played good, played strong. Great quarterback. Loved Joe. Went to school with Joe, was a roommate with Joe, was awesome. Liked him, good guy. Would love to have him on the show and talk about his experiences, which we're reaching out to him now to see if we can get that done. And then he's with the Colts now. The NFL cannot find quarterbacks. Let me break this down for you real quick before we get to the next topic. The NFL is struggling to find quarterbacks. Draft picks clearly are not working out early on. It's just obvious. You go around the league, you got your Kirk Cousins of the world. Tom Brady was there for 100 years, right? And then now you got Flacco, who's bounced around the league. Russell Wilson now bounced around the league. There's only 32 teams. So as you look down the lineup, you go, look how many veteran quarterbacks are here. Not veteran, not 5 years, not 6 years, not 7 years. Guys that are in their late 30s playing football, 40 years old. Guys that are balling still is like, okay. And just real quick, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Flacco, people like Tom Brady playing Kirk Cousins. All these guys are getting older. Russell Wilson. You can keep on going. And there's so many of them. And it's like, that's clearly an indication of how hard it is to get a quarterback, right? So like I've been saying this, drafting a quarterback sounds great. If you get number 1, number 2, awesome for you. But if you don't, right, you're better off finding a veteran. Go and draft all your skill positions and then come back. And then, I would just look for a veteran quarterback. That's just my opinion. They seem to be doing better. But let's move on here. This is the topic I want to talk about. Okay, and we're going to spend a little time on this. So transgender women participating in sports. Okay, when I say transgender women, hope this is on here correctly. What I'm saying is men that become women. So hopefully that's politically correct, and it isn't supposed to be transgender men. Because what I have is transgender women. You are transitioning into a woman, transgender woman participating. Sorry, women with an E. But here's the thing, okay? I want to know what you guys think about this. Right? Like the reason why I say this is because this isn't the only sport, right? Now they're talking about fighting and this and that. And I've seen a guy just transition into a girl and then just destroy this girl in fighting, which I was just like, okay, that's crazy. But here you go on the side here, and be politically correct, you have to say it properly. But what I'm going to say is I disagree. Now, I have nothing wrong with anybody that wants to do what they want to do in their life. You want to transition into a transgender, you want to go to a man, to a woman, that's on you. I don't care. My hat's off to you. You're going through a rough time. It's something you believe in. That's not my problem or my responsibility. Or do I hate on you? Good for you. Happy for you to be who you are. But as you get into sports, okay, let me just say this. You can see how built, right, Leah on the right was, and that's Michael Phelps in the picture, right? So the build, the structure is completely different, right? I mean, look at these shoulders. That's a man on the right. Now, politically correct, it's a woman now, but that is a man. In the chat right now, right, I just want to know if you guys think this is fair. Is it fair, just put yes or no, for a transgender from a man to go to a woman and then participate in women's sports? I'm just asking you, Howard, flip the picture here for me. This is the celebration. Like he into a she is winning meets. Now, this is just swimming for a second. I'm just showing you. I talked about this last year. I want to know what you guys think. And you don't got to be worried about any freaking drama in the chat here. It's just, I'm going to put on here, I disagree. Because that way I can start the conversation at least, right? Like, I just think it's not fair. Like, let's just be honest. Like, this is a man turning into a woman, and he's so pumped. Sorry, she's so pumped that she's winning the meet. You know, shit. Like, you're like, come on. Let's put LeBron James in there and play against, you know, anybody, right? Like Caitlin Clark. Yeah, she's balling. Yeah, Caitlin Clark is balling in college basketball. Let's line her up against a guy from Duke or from Kentucky, or she gets into the WNBA. Let's put her against LeBron James. You know, like, come on now. Like, these are your best players against NBA best players. It just doesn't work out, right? Like, it just doesn't work because of the structure, the people, you're built different. I'm not hating on you because you transitioned. Let's be clear. I'm not hating on someone who transitioned. Good for you. Hats off for you. I didn't go through that. So therefore, I didn't have those concerns, right? All those parents out there that some of them have those concerns. And I understand that that could be complicated. And I'm not hating on that, nor am I discriminating against that, nor do I care. I'm happy for you to be who you are, making that very clear so people don't get confused. I am happy for you to do what makes you happy. Okay, that's first and foremost. But when we talk about sports, if you want to take a girl into a man and participate, go for it. It's going to be detrimental for the most part, right? But if you take literally a man and transition to a woman, you are going to have a superstar. First of all, this quote unquote man to a woman wasn't even placing in any kind of meet in this kind of magnitude, right? And then he gets to a woman's sport and he's winning, like literally top of the country, obviously, right? And then the celebration is crazy. Like, I'm just saying, like, let's just say this. How does she feel? Sorry. How do the parents feel about this? Like, look, I'm just saying, if I was standing there and my son transitioned to a woman and that was his feelings and that was the concern and he just had it, I would do everything in my power to stop that because how you're feeling, how you're believing, I'm sure every man or whatever goes through that. But I would let my son naturally be what he loves and who he's meant to be in life. If he was lining up and he wanted to swim like this and compete against women like this and he was winning national championships, I would be, listen, I'm happy for him at home. Great job. I would not be in the media standing there, round of applause, overly excited for joy and happy and going crazy and shooting off rockets and balloons because I would be a little embarrassed. And I hate to say that. I hate to say it like that. And I'm trying to be as nice as I possibly can about this topic. But I'm just saying, I wouldn't be overly pumped. Like, yeah, my son, now who is my daughter, just beat a bunch of girls in a college championship, right? Or if you were to go to in a professional championship, let's take your son who plays basketball, and then now he's going to play in the WNBA, and he's just dunking on people. Look, and I'm holding the ball here, like just, like, boom. Like, I'm just saying, thinking that in my mind just doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, you could even take it down to flag football, for God's sakes, and see your son out there just dominating a bunch of women on the field, like breaking tackles and yanking flags. Come on now, man. I'm just saying, I don't want to hate on it. And Howard, pull up Michael Phelps again, the other pitcher that was next to there. I'm just saying, look at the shoulders. All right, this is a man on the left, and this is a man transitioned to a woman on the right, right? Like, I'm just saying, they have very similar structure. The shoulders are elevated. I don't know many women built like that. So the combination of being built different, getting in, playing sports, going against other women is a little bit concerning. I'm just saying, I hate to say that in the wrong kind of way, negative way, but I'm just giving you my honest opinion. Some things we can't say on here. And I think it's important that I just start opening up normal conversation, because that's what helps the platform grow. Moving on to the show, quote of the day. Here you are. Follow one course until successful. Right? Like, if you're watching this right now, I appreciate you. I take a screenshot who's in here every single day. Thank you for jumping in here. And I see on here other people, Kevin, anybody that's been here for the first time, thank you for jumping in and joining me. I hope to see you guys every day. But here's the quote. Follow one course until successful. Right? And you see it red and highlight. Focus. Follow one course till successful. It's so hard to do so many things at one time. I'm one of those guys. I'm guilty of that. I'm like running this business, running that business, but I want to get to my passion, but I'm doing this. And it's like, you can't be great at it if you're doing 30,000 other things. So the problem that you're having, I'm having, a lot of people are having is, I'm not saying put all your eggs in one basket, but I'm saying, look, you got to follow at least one course until successful. Follow the protocols, get it done, follow it to the fullest extent. And then if you have other time to be successful on something else, then jump on that. So I'm saying that's my journey. That's my quote of the day. And tomorrow we have a UFC fighter coming on the show. And I will announce him bright and early in the morning in all social media platforms. He'll be coming on the show tomorrow. And then we have some other people now we can't mention yet because the contract paperwork has not been signed. But I look forward to having those guys on the show. You're going to love it. And remember, stay tuned because we're going to be going live tomorrow in the morning. But then during the fight starts at 5 o'clock here in Miami. You're going to see all the bare knuckle fighters coming out. I'm going to be live on here talking. So in the morning at 10 o'clock. And then later on, we'll have some live clips popping up on YouTube. So make sure to hit the like button on this today. Hit that notification bell so when we go live, you get it right away. And if we do go live during the fight, you're going to see action-packed live shots right next, hopefully, to the canvas so you're front and center. And I appreciate all of you guys joining live with me every single day. And as we move forward, you're going to see more guys coming on the show from all sports. I appreciate all of you, and I will see you guys first thing tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you. Hope all of you have a great day, and tomorrow will be Friday, so it will be exciting to have you guys on. See you guys tomorrow. Until next time.